What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today we have another Fallout 76 camp building tutorial. We're going to be going over a lot of stuff that is going to be bringing a ton of pizzazz to your camps. But before we get into that, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. That stuff helps me out tremendously. And also, we have a problem. So in my last tutorial, I went over how to freely place those steel posts. That method does not seem to be working anymore. Minus that blueprint I have, that for some reason still works, but I cannot replicate it, and I'm noticing everyone else is also having a lot of the same issues doing so. So if you have any kind of information, tips, tricks, whatever, please comment down below letting us know. Let's all come together and solve this problem. Alright guys, let's get right into it. So first up, we are going to be doing something that I believe is super essential. We're going to start by getting out a spike board trap and placing that down. And then we're going to grab our ugly and loud fusion generator, place that on the edge of that spike trap, and then we're going to go ahead and connect some power to it, just like so. And now we can go ahead and trigger that spike board trap. It's going to make our generator completely disappear, and then ta-da, we still have power without an ugly, noisy generator. Up next, we are going to be going over one of the various methods on how to make a fancy flat screen TV. We're going to be starting by placing down these 3 tables just like so. And then you can actually do this with a bunch of different tables. Those are just the 3 that I start with. This one I'm going to be using a different variation of a table to actually have for my TV stand. The one that you place at the top there is going to be the one that is actually your TV stand itself. So you go ahead and place another one of those 3 that we have on top of there. That looks nice, but for this instance I'm going to be using this one right here. So we're just going to go ahead and line that up a little bit even. Doesn't have to be perfect, and we're going to choose whichever picture we want for our TV. I'm going to be using that. You can use the white spring pictures, whatever you have. And then we're going to be using our camp module to lift up that picture. If it doesn't let you take away that top stand, just keep moving around the tables until it does, and eventually it will allow you to do just like that, and you'll be able to lift up your picture, replicating a flat screen TV. We're going to take that inside here and check it out. See if it's up high enough or if it's down too low. Looks pretty nice. If you do need to drop it down any, you can just use the merging method by taking out your pressure plate, like I'm going to do here in a moment. I myself prefer to connect the generator to it. That's just much more simple for me. So I want it down a little bit more. Go ahead and drop it there. Ta-da! Absolutely perfect. That looks phenomenal. Spectacular. Beautiful. Flat screen TV in the Wasteland. For this next one, we're going to be going over, yet again, another flat screen TV in the Wasteland. I just wanted to go over this method with you guys real quick to kind of give you some ideas and some inspo on how you can come up with different variations of this. Like if you don't have that scoreboard poster, you don't have to have it. You can go ahead and use the white spring pictures like I'm about to do here in a moment. So we're basically just repeating that same process we did. We're going to place our tables just like so, and then it will allow you to place down a poster of your choosing. It's going to snap onto that top table. If it doesn't, move it around a little bit, and then you can drop it down on your camp module. Sometimes that's a little finicky. There we go. We can adjust the height however we wish. And don't forget, if you ever go up too high, you can always just drop it down again with the merge method. And wow, look at that freaking flat screen TV in the Wasteland. It's so pretty. Alright, up next, you guys are not gonna believe this. We have another flat screen TV in the Wasteland. Just can't get enough of these. So we're gonna start by placing down those 3 foundations, removing the one in the middle so that we can adjust the height of those foundations. And the land can be a little bit pesky when doing this. Sometimes it won't let you elevate that foundation high enough. Also gotta watch out for frogs apparently. So we are gonna go ahead and elevate our foundation to the height that we want our TV in our living room. We're gonna place down a wall and apply some black wallpaper to it. Or gray, sorry, they call it gray, it looks black. This wallpaper is really the best one for this. You could pretty much use whatever you have though. Now we can break that wall and move our foundation around freely to wherever we want our foundations in our house. So we're gonna go ahead and place back our foundations like so. And that looks pretty nice. It looks like a good level for our TV in the living room. So I'm gonna go ahead and place some double walls just for visual effect to show you guys what this looks like. And to kind of make sure that I do have my TV wall in the area that I want it, and to make sure that I gave myself enough space to have those double walls behind it. So we're gonna go ahead and repair our TV. And there is an extra little step we can do here. We're gonna place a little neon punctuation mark right on our TV. And it's gonna look like a little button, so cute. I'm gonna hook up some power real quick so we can see what this looks like. And there we have it, guys, another flat screen TV in the Wasteland. This one looks so cool in my opinion, and there's a little gap back there. You can put some lights back there, have a backlit TV. You can also adjust that gap as needed by moving your foundations around and whatnot. But yeah, so cool. So now this table is making another appearance. So this is one of my favorite tables to decorate my houses with. It has a lot of nice shelves, and this is basically just some inspiration on how I myself like to decorate it and fill up all of those shelves. In my last tutorial, I went over how to merge and all that stuff, so if you missed that, go check it out. It is super helpful if you're new to building. Tons of super cool tricks in that one. Minus those damn pesky steel posts. We're gonna come up with an answer for that. I have a feeling where there is a will, there is a way. We're gonna figure it out. So there we have it, our finished shelf looking lovely as ever. So now we're going to be working on some curtain tricks because they can be a little bit pesky. So for this, I have offset foundations, which was not allowing me to actually snap the curtain in place to the window that I have here. And that was just unacceptable. So I came up with another way. I went ahead and broke those 2 double walls, and as you can see, I turned the toggle snapping off on the curtains. And then I was able to get that super close to those little beams in the broken wall. And I just messed around with it for a little bit until I got it right where I wanted it to be. And then I just went ahead and repaired those walls. And there we go. Looks pretty awesome. Can't even tell that it didn't snap there on its own. Looks perfectly centered and looks way better than not having a curtain at all, because as you can see here, it was not gonna let me place it there. So up next, we're going to be working on some more curtain tricks here. This is going to involve the staircase with the platform there. So I'm going to start by placing my walls around where I'm going to have my staircase. And I use double walls 99% of the time. This is going to make it a lot easier for when I want to freely snap my curtains to these walls here in a little bit. It can be done with just a single wall, but I find it much easier if you use this double wall method. So I'm going to go ahead and just turn all of these to windows just to show you guys how to put curtains anywhere around these staircases. So there we go, we have all of our windows in place, and as you can see, it is going to allow us to place those stairs without any curtains around it. But if we place those stairs right now, it definitely will not let us put any curtains there. So go ahead and choose the curtains of your choice and place them down on that lower level. Now we're going to see that those stairs are not going to place there with the curtains, so what we have to do is break them with the flamethrower. You can always have a friend build this at your camp if you don't have the plan. It is pretty hard to acquire. Or you can use PvP. That works as well. So once those curtains are broken, as you can see, it will let us place those stairs back in place. So we're good to go for that lower level in the curtains. Those snap in just fine. So for the second level, as you can see, it's not going to let us just place curtains freely as there's no support for them. Makes no sense. I thought the wall was the support, but you know, I don't make the rules. But anyways, so we're basically going to be using the same method I just showed you guys, where we're going to break the walls and turn the toggle snapping off. And then that's going to allow us to freely place those curtains a little bit closer to our walls. And you guys will see at the end here, you can't tell a difference at all. It looks like they snapped there completely on their own. So just repeating that method of breaking our walls. And then we're going to start taking our curtains with the toggle snapping turned off and placing them freely. Once you have them placed down, you can kind of scoot them around a little bit to try to get them exactly where you'd like them to be. So I did want to show you guys exactly how I scooted those around to get them where I wanted them, and now as you can see, once I repair everything, we have curtains everywhere and it looks amazing. As you can see here with our close-up, they look like they snap there completely on their own. You cannot tell a difference at all. Pretty nice. So next I wanted to show you guys an alternative method to placing some curtains around these staircases, just so you have that for your information basically. So right now it's not going to let us remove those stairs, of course. So what we're gonna have to do is place down a normal staircase just like that, and we're gonna have to start removing basically everything, unfortunately, to get those stairs to go away. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick. So now it's going to go ahead and let us remove those stairs, and I'm going to go ahead and put my walls back here, and just for time's sake I'm going to go ahead and just keep this for the single-sided walls, because for this method we're not going to have to break any of the walls or anything like that. We're just going to use a temporary set of stairs and snap some floors to those and put those floors over by those windows. And now it's going to let us just go ahead and snap those curtains on there. Just make sure you have your toggle snapping turned back on for that. And then we can go ahead and delete those floors, delete those stairs, and go back to the staircase that we want. And as you see, with the curtains there, as usual, it's not going to let us place those. So we have to go back and break those curtains again. Once our curtains are broken, it will allow us to place those stairs back. Then we can just repair everything, and there we go. That's just another method that I want to show you guys real quick on how to get those curtains placed around. There we go, perfect. Alright, now I wanted to show you guys something that I do in every single one of my builds. So don't mind that green curtain there. That's just for me breaking it a bunch. That just happens sometimes. So I went ahead and broke one of the curtains that I have there, and that's going to allow me to place my items a lot closer to the wall. I don't know about you guys, but it just drives me nuts that those curtains will not let us place things close enough, and it looks like we have a huge gap in between our items and the curtains. So the easiest way to get around that is to just make sure your curtains are broken, and then you can place your item pretty darn close to the window and the curtains, and it looks so much nicer than the huge gap that it would make you have otherwise. So once you have your item placed where you want it, you can go ahead and repair those curtains, and in my opinion, I think it looks a lot better than having that item about a foot away from the curtain. So up next, we're going to be doing one of my very favorite things to do in a camp build, and that is making our very own custom window. So this is going to be a little bit hard for me to narrate. If you guys have any questions about how I do this, please leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you about that. So anyhow, what we're doing here is just creating double walls out of the half wall variation. Once we have our double walls, we can go ahead and move our foundations around in order to place our window right in between those two half walls. So we're going to remove that middle foundation, which is going to allow us to rise that other foundation up high enough to where we can place our window there. So there we go. As you can see, it's going to allow us to place that there, but I myself personally want that a little bit closer. So I'm going to scoot those foundations forward just a bit. And then there we go. That's perfect, right in the middle of those two half walls. So now our next step is to create the double walls on top there, just like we have them at the bottom. So in order to do that, I am just going to be breaking a bunch of walls, placing a bunch of walls. It's a little bit confusing, but nonetheless, I hope you guys understand from the video kind of how this is done. So now in order to make the double walls on top, I'm going to have to go ahead and break that wall up there. So I'm just going to place my flamethrower on a shelf and break that wall, which is going to allow me to then place a secondary wall right there. And this part, I don't know why I did this because I didn't need to. I'm currently breaking the wall that I need to place a wall on. You'll see that I'm going to repair that in a second so I can place my wall back on top of it. There we go, replace that wall, and then I'll be able to place the other double wall piece right there. Now I can go ahead and break those walls so I can remove my foundations and place them back where I want them to be. So that's generally what it should look like. You can take your time with this and kind of move your foundations around and get everything lined up how you want. So now I'm going to be repairing those walls, which will give me that snapping point for my foundations. And then I'm going to go ahead and repair all of the walls to see what we got there. I'm only going to keep one of the glass walls in the middle there, and ta-da! We have our own custom window. And I think that just looks so cool. I don't know about you guys. Definitely worth the effort. It is one of those things where you have to do this in order of operation. If your camp build is too far along, this is going to be really hard for you to do. So keep that in mind when you are doing this, that this should be something that you do relatively early in the build. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching my second tutorial. I hope you guys learned something today. Please leave a comment down below if there's anything you'd like me to cover in my next video. And have a good one guys, until next time.